And I realized that my opportunities to like escape, not physically escape, like break out, but
Yeah.
to escape these circumstances, the only way forward was through. So I just knew like whatever they gave me, like they've already decided my fate. I just have to show up in my jumpsuit and swallow it, whatever it is.
Never miss a day.
Right. So that was 5
You
years.
have to show up and occupy that bed and get that money.
And this is how delusional that I was at my sentencing, okay? Like, and they still went forward with sentencing. And some of it wasn't, it's probably also some of the harshest truths ever. But I was like, before this happened to me, like these were my sentencing minutes. I thought the absolute worst thing that would happen is my son would eat like not organic baby food. And here I am. And I was like, but you know what? You're giving me these, 5 years. I am going to go get a degree. I'm going to go make something of myself. You're paying, at the time, it was like $55,000 a year to incarcerate a woman in New York State. And I was like, so you're going to spend money on this. This is like Harvard tuition. And I'm going to learn from this. But I was like super Karen at that sentencing because it was really, I was like really in his face about it. I was like, and I'm gonna get an education, and I'm telling him all these things I'm gonna do, right?
Yeah.
And my son will never eat inorganic food again. Like,
Crazy
stuff. Like that has no business in your sentencing minutes. They don't. And then the judge, actually, my sentencing minutes, he was like, I'm actually speechless. like he didn't know how to respond to that. The right response is go send this bitch back and get her medicated properly. That was the answer. But he didn't know what to do with me. But prison will fix it. Because all along the way, all of these judges, they all were like, don't worry, you're going to get great care. You're going to do great when you...
You got to turn something off, Sarita, because you came in on the second camera.
Okay. Well, this is what happened. I'm just going to tell you, my computer died. So... Okay, so my computer died, and I tried to be real smooth about it.
Yeah.
That was pretty actually.
So Stacy, tell me this. Was like, so this process that you were going through, it's a lot of trauma going on. I'm feeling it just with what you were sharing and sharing the story. Did that go on throughout the entire incarceration until you were released? Or like, how did you manage? Like, you know what I mean? And then to come home and be in the state of mind you are now, like what was going on? Like, can you share that with us?
Eric, I'm really glad that you mentioned trauma. Sarita, you did earlier too.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you have to retell your story, it's traumatic, right? So I get to Bedford, and I also at this point believe that they're going to help me. My belief is that so now I believe that there's something wrong with me, inherently wrong with me, and this prison system is going to fix that. This prison system, like I'm trusting them with this process. I had never known anyone who had been to prison, so I had no idea what really to expect. And I had never been that fat because I gained all that weight eating commissary and county because it was terrible. And the drugs that they gave me, they all affect your metabolism. So I went in at like 130 some odd pounds, but when I weighed in at Bedford, I was like 206. Like I didn't even weigh that much. Like I'd never weighed that much in my life. It was awful. So I felt really horrible about myself in general because I look like hell, feel like hell. But they're gonna fix me. They're gonna fix all of it, and I did have a really good doctor when I was at Bedford, and she gave me things like to make me feel better about being bipolar. Like it was the first time that I knew like famous people that had it. Like she had all these resources and stuff. She was a great doctor, and she worked to like get me down off of a couple of things. And she's like, can't take you off them right away because you could have a stroke. And I was like, no one told me this shit could give me a stroke.
Crazy, yes.
Being 200 pounds will give me a stroke. Like, hell, like, oh gosh. But she really worked hard. Like, she was awesome. But I won the lottery there. That experience was never to be duplicated in this system. So then I go to I get shipped out, and they want me to talk to this guy who totally gives me serial killer vibes. Like, he's going to be my doctor. Man. And I don't want a man doctor. I don't want to deal with him. And he's very disingenuous. And he's like, he gives me the heebie-jeebies. And you want me to tell him all these horrible things that have happened in my life? No, like, I can't talk to this man. And because I wouldn't talk to this man, they put me on suicide watch, which,
oh no.
And they wrote in my file, because I wound up getting my whole medical file later. And they said, like, oh, she's going to spend all this time in solitary because she can't behave, and that I'm antisocial, and all these things that follow you forever. And it really was like, I thought I was doing a good thing, because in my universe, participating in your own care is really important. And if I don't want this provider, I don't have to take this provider. So I was asserting myself, and I worked really hard. Like, I was like, I'm asserting myself. Like, I'm back. No, I'm not back. I'm now on suicide watch because I was.
Yeah. And Stacey, if I can just jump in here, I will tell you about the state of Missouri, but I'm absolutely sure that it is the same where you're at, if not very close. Suicide, which is the desire to kill yourself or to end it, will get you right here where I'm going to describe in the Missouri Department of Corrections. You are going to ADSEG, which is administrative segregation. The same as people who misbehave, the same as people who are fighting. You are going there because you're suicidal, because you want to kill yourself. They're going to take you everything you have that you could wear and maybe feel good about yourself. We had khaki uniforms, we had bras, we had underwear. You're coming up out of all of that, and you're going to put on a suit that is like for lack of a better word, we call it the turtle suit, because it's a green suit. It's got arms, it's got legs, and that's it. You have no underwear, you have nothing. So as a woman, should you start your menstruation, you're going to wear a diaper. So this is the cure for suicide in prison, is because you're going to go, and then you don't get a toilet bowl. So there's a hole in the floor for you to use the restroom. You are using the restroom in a hole in the floor, and for that toilet to flush, you have to tell an officer to come to flush the toilet from outside of the cell. They're going to provide you with what they think you need as far as toilet paper. So have them be in an attitude that day, a bad day at work, or they already don't like suicide watch because it requires so much of them. They're not going to give you enough toilet paper. So first of all, I went through my mental health battles, but I never would have considered suicide just because I felt like I fought for my life to be there. So I would never do that. But that is the condition, and not to say that I'm better than anybody. However, if suicide were to creep in my mind, I wouldn't have told a soul. I wouldn't have told a soul, because I wouldn't have wanted to be in that position, to have everything that could make me feel as though I'm a human being taken, and basically pissing and shitting in a hole in the floor with what they chose to give me as toilet paper. Stacey, was that the same?
Yeah, we had to fight for the diaper, actually. So if you didn't have, so every Friday you could change out your smock, your turtle suit, and and you don't get like sheets. You get two, like, I called them mattress ticking.
That's better. We didn't get that. Yeah.
So you had two of those. It was disgusting. Everything was everything. Nobody cleaned anything in that place. So. And there's nothing to do. There's nothing to read. That'll make you crazy. There's nothing to read, nothing to watch, no radio, nothing. You have no idea what time it is. The lights never go out, just like you're in solitary. But I used to pass the time by counting the different types of hair I found. So I could tell like how many people had been in that cell that they hadn't
Oh
cleaned.
man, you were losing your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And wait, and here's another thing about AdSeg. You don't shower every day.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, right. You get to shower maybe every 72 hours. This is in Missouri, and this is anyone in the hole. So you get in a fight, whatever. You'll clean yourself up in your cell, and then they're going to handcuff you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. So you cuff up in your cell. You come out the cell, you go to the shower, you get uncuffed. Now you haven't showered in 72 days or 72 hours. You're going to, go to hit the water. Whenever they say it's over is when it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You get in, you're done. You're done. So that depends on their attitude that day too. Now, let me tell you.
It's amazing to me how, and where I was and grew up, the regular population, we couldn't even get a shower every day, 7 days out the week. You had to take certain programs. You had to be a porter in the shower house. Then you could get a shower every day. You had to, it was certain programs that you had to take if you wanted to get a shower. You work in the bathhouse, you had to, you know what I'm saying? Or work in the barbershop, you get a shower every day. Certain things that allowed you. And then to go to the box or administrative SAG.
The shoe,
like
yeah.
You now you limited your showers from population the 3 days out of the week.
Yep. That's the thing.
To one
and
day
as a woman,
or
here's
2
the
days.
thing.
That's
so we would have bird baths.
Mm-hmm.
We would have bird baths where you would wash up in your sink. This is not suicide. And I have no problem saying when I got to prison, I was angry.
And you wash.
Huh?
You got to get buy a bucket from commissary, and you get a bird bath in the cell.
This is population, right? Yeah. So listen, I was not the same person I am today when I went to prison.